Hello, this is Dan Lucas at Anchor Baby Recordings. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about guitar miking techniques, mic choices and things like that. I've had a few people on Work Experience recently and a few emails from people asking about my recording techniques, what mics I use, how to get a good sort of thick, powerful guitar sound. Now, I mostly record hardcore bands, energetic indie bands, and I like big, thick, powerful guitar sounds. My miking choice and technique might not be right for you, but you can certainly try applying it to any kind of guitar recording and see how far you get. Now, before you even think about miking, you need to choose the right amp for the song or for the part that you're recording. You need to EQ it correctly as well. You need to understand a little bit about EQing an amp. Even if you don't play guitar, whatever instruments you're recording, you need to have some sort of vague understanding of the instrument and why it makes the sound it makes, and things like that, even if you don't play that instrument yourself. So let's supposing you don't have a big choice of amps, then you need to make the most out of the amp that you do have, get it sounding as good as you possibly can, as near to what you had in mind as you can. Get it sounding great in the room, that's the most important thing. You want to play it, listen to it in the room and go, that sounds great, that's what I want to capture on my recording. So providing we've done all that, I would usually start with an SM57, which I've got here. Now, if you've got a basic grasp of recording or performing live, you should know what one of these looks like, or you should have come across these. They're very industry sort of standard dynamic mics, fairly cheap, about 90 or 100 quid, and very, very robust. I use these on snares, toms, sometimes even kick drums. They get whacked with drumsticks, knocked off the stands, and they always work fine. Very, very robust mics. You should be able to get a good guitar sound just with one of these. I tend to start off with this and I position it around the speaker. I'll usually start with it straight on the centre of the speaker, pointing straight at the dust cap about an inch or two away. If that can sometimes sound a little bit too bright, you get a lot of high mids with these mics and you might find it a little bit too harsh, so you can move it around until you get a sound that's sort of 99% you think, yeah, that's great. So you need to experiment a little bit, but my general rule of thumb is that I start with it on the dust cap, an inch or two away. You get a nice bright sound, lots of high mids. Now, I sometimes just use this mic, but 9 times out of 10 I'll usually add in another mic as well. Now, this is a ribbon mic. It's a Beyerdynamic M160. Just get it close up to the camera there. These are great little ribbon mics, fairly inexpensive for a ribbon mic. I think they're about 400 or 500 quid. And these are great for low mids. They can add a lot of warmth and thickness to a guitar sound. So I would use this in conjunction with the 57. This is also partly because I don't like screwing things up with EQ. If you EQ things quite harshly, you then get phase cancellation and issues like that. So I would rather use 2 mics, one for the high mids and the brightness, and then this mic for the low end and the low mids, and blend them together rather than trying to find one mic that does everything. So I'd have this maybe pointing at the dust cap an inch or two away, and the ribbon mic sort of pointing towards the dust cap but maybe at a 45-degree angle. You need to be very careful when you're using sort of more than one mic, because again you get phase issues. But I would try, once you found a nice position for your 57, I'd then pop this mic on a stand as well. Again, move it around the speaker. The nearer you get to the centre, the brighter and harsher it can get. You can move it further away so that you don't get a proximity effect. You'll pick up a lot less low end if you move it further from the speaker. I would usually have the volumes of the mics, the ribbon mic maybe 2/3 quieter than the 57. I use this for the majority of the sound, and this is just for the thickness, the low end. Get a nice tight low end with these. Providing you position them properly, you shouldn't get a lot of horrible rumble and sort of things a lot lower down the sort of spectrum than you want. So that's it really. That is my secret to a nice big thick guitar sound. Great sounding amp, good guitar, good guitarist, great sounding room, and then when it comes to mics, start with a 57 and then try using something like a ribbon mic. You can use a condenser mic as well, but they're much brighter sounding, not great for adding thickness to a guitar sound. So that's my choice. Hope it works for you. Thanks for watching.